The first manga brand that I want to introduce to you guys are the one from Tiger, or Tier as we say in Denmark. They come in 21 colors and they are sold in pack of 3s, which make it a total of 7 packs all in all. They cost 20 Danish crowns, which make it around 2.7 in euros, 2 in pounds, and 3 in dollars. They are dual-ended, which means that they come with 2 nibs, a chisel nib and a fine point end. They are alcohol-based like Covics are, which means that you can easily mix them with them if you want. They measure 15 centimeters and are about 1.5 centimeters broad, which makes them kind of large and kind of bulky, as you can see. They're quite big compared to other muggers, but they're great. The nib is quite flexible, I think, considering it's a cheap odd mugger. I wanted to tell you a little bit about the store, Tiger, or Tier. It's Danish made, but you can find it all over Europe. And I saw on their website that there was one in New York, so if any of you Americans are interested, you can head to New York. And there should be a fair amount in Japan as well, so there should be a good possibility that you can find them. I would say that the color range that Tiger provides are pretty decent. You get 3 in each range, and even though I think the reds are more like pinks, the other colors are pretty great. They're very vibrant, and I think they managed to somewhat put in a middle tone, a light tone, and a dark tone, apart from the yellow parts, which the yellow and the middle tone is very similar. Otherwise, I will say that the range is quite great. The next manga that I wanted to introduce you to are the ones from Soesterne Grene. I don't know how you pronounce that in English though. There are 15 and they are all sold individually, which means no packs. They cost 10 Danish crown each, which means that will be 1.35 in euros, 1 pound, and $1.5. They are also dual-ended with a fine point and a chisel nib. They are also alcohol-based, and they are a bit longer but quite smaller around compared to the Tiger muggers. Their barrel are very similar to the Twin Trudge muggers, if you know those. The store, Soesterne Grene, is also Danish-based, and this store is more limited availability in the world. It's located in Denmark and France, Iceland, Ireland, Netherlands, Norway, Spain and Sweden. So that's only in Europe and not in all countries. So these are harder to come by than the Tiger muggers. The color range compared to the Tiger muggers are more limited. There's a lot of purples, and the other colors jump back and forth. I think it's not gonna be easy to blend them because there are a lot of dark and mid-tones and not very many light tones. And as I said, the colors are spread all over. But the color is still vivid and they're still very beautiful. I'm starting by testing the tiger markers, and I'm testing them by blending them, layering them, and then blending opposites. I start by blending the blue range that I got in one of the sets. It's a dark blue, a mid-tone blue, and a light blue. I think the blending went pretty well. It did bleed a little, but it didn't got all smudgy and weird, and I think the range is pretty great. It blends very nice together, and you get this nice melted sort of color that you want from a blending. So I'm definitely happy with that. Next I'm trying to blend from green to blue with the mid-tone green, the lightest green, which is sort of a blue-green color, and then the lightest blue, and I think it went really well. These three colors go really well together, and I think that if you were to use it, that would be stunning. So definitely great. Next I'm trying to layering them, and I did make a mistake here. I started by going with light and then dark on top, which should be opposite, so just ignore the light and dark at the side. I start by laying the light color, then on top the dark color to see if the light color underneath is shining through, and it sort of does. It's lighting the dark color a bit, but not much, so that's fine. I'm pretty satisfied with it. And besides, you want the colors to blend together and seem more smooth, so you don't want it to be just a layer and a layer on top. Next I'm trying with the greens, and I think that's went pretty well as well. You can see the color blends sort of naturally, and the color underneath shines a bit through, but doesn't get too much. Next I'm trying to blending opposites, and I take blue with yellow and red with green, and well, you can only expect the worst from this. So yeah, it's not pretty, but it was just test to see how it would act, and I think it's as to be expected. Next I'm taking the Soesterne Grene markers. I'm taking the two dark blues and the very light blue green color. As said, the colors doesn't vary great, or the vary too great actually. There's not like a range like Tiger offers, and I can miss that. So next I'm trying to go from dark green to the blue green and then to a dark blue, but I don't think it didn't justify the blending either. It's very hard to blend a very dark color with a light color. So I tried to blend two dark colors because I couldn't really blend two light colors. But you get to see later when I'm coloring a flower how the sort of works better for the Soesterne Grene marker. So here you can see the purple and the blue blending together. It's justifying the colors more. So all in all, I think they blend pretty well together, considering that the colors are so far apart. Next I'm trying the layering, and for these I think that when I took dark and put a light on top, it sort of got mushy. It was really, you can really see the color blending together, and sort of, yeah, it didn't it didn't really layer. It was more like blending. So, but I don't know about you, but that's what I want from my markers, so I'm definitely happy with it. I'm trying to blending opposites here as well, and as to be expected, it's not a pretty sight, but I think that what's interesting here is compared to the tiger markers, where the yellow was very dominant and the blue was sort of more greenish, and yeah, Here it was like, you can see the yellow on top of the blue, but not quite blended together. It was more like layering. So here I have drawn some lotus flowers. The first one on the far top to the left is with Copics in the colors V04, V06 and V09. Underneath that I have colored in with style file markers to have one more professional art marker to compare to, and the colors that I have there is 450, 456 and 466. Yes. On a later date I will do a review of my style file markers along with pro markers and Copics. So stay tuned for that. For now, we are comparing the two marker brands, Soesterne Grene and Tiger. The one I'm coloring now is Tiger, and I'm starting with the darkest color and then going with the lighter color. So I would say that I think Tiger maybe went best. I'm not sure. I think both of them was pretty neat. They blend well together. I think that Tiger did a little better job at blending together. If you compare the three colors on top, you will get a picture, obviously, a closer look to it, so you can see what I mean. The three colors are very, what to say, extreme from each other compared to the Copics one. Even the style file markers are quite extreme, I think, but that blended really nice compared to the cheap ones. But well, what are you gonna get for money, right? So yeah, but I think maybe Soesterne Grene's markers were a bit too extreme. I think it was too dark, darkest color, but I kind of liked the effect anyway. But yeah, well, so I'm soon done with the Tiger one, and I will continue with the Soesterne Grene one in a second. I would have to say one more thing. I think I like the bullet nib on the Tiger more than I like the Soesterne Grene bullet nib, because it's well, at least the darkest color wasn't a complete bullet nib. It was a bit flexible. So that was pretty neat. Yeah, here I'm going to color the Soesterne Grene darkest color, the B81. And it's about as dark as the Copic V09. So, but the lightest color of the Soesterne Grene is much lighter than the lightest color in Copic that I chose. The thing I like about the Soesterne Grene compared to the Tiger is that the barrel is much better to hold, because it's not as big. It's ridiculously big, the Tiger one, I think. That may just be me, but yeah. And it's pretty neat. I like it, even though it's a bullet nib and I'm not a fan. I like my brush nibs. Which is why I actually haven't used my style file markers either, because they also have a bullet nib. But I should soon be able to buy spare nibs to them. The style file markers are fairly new, so they haven't released everything for them yet. So when they release spare nibs, I can go and change my chisel to a brush nib. I can't wait. I don't think the Soesterne Grene one really blended. Well, the mid-tone and the darkest tone kind of blended fine, I think. I just think that the light one was too extreme. It was too light. I think I should have picked a darker light color, if you could say that. But all in all, I think both markers are great. I'm perfectly happy with them.